Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm and our road to Grandmaster. We're actually kind of jumping around a little bit in today's episode in terms of the chronology of these videos, because this one I played yesterday. I still have a couple of games coming out from the previous play session, which was a few days ago, but the reason I'm bringing you guys this one, as you'll see, as we check out the bans and what the first pick is going to be. We are the first pick of the team captain, so this is letting us to do this, which is really nice on Battlefield of Eternity. Oh yeah, and also, shout out to Valisa, I don't know how to say your name, but shout out to you. Always nice to be recognized, and we're going to talk about that a bit more in the game, actually, because it ends up actually being pretty important, I think. See, what is the enemy team going to ban? They ban out Sylvanas. Well, hey, what do you know? If they're going to ban out Sylvanas, that means we, for the first time, get to pick Samuro. Actually, I've only seen him twice in Hero League. The second one, you're also going to really enjoy that video. It wasn't me that played him, but that comes out. I'll probably bring that one out in a couple of days. It was really cool. We're actually with the #1 Grandmaster and going up against a few pro players, such as Hasawabs from Misfits. That video will be out in a few days' time, so do stay tuned for that. That one's going to be really exciting. Going to like that one a lot. But yeah, we got to play Samuro in this one, which is really cool. I thought it'd be pretty good on BOE as well, seeing as his damage output. I'm not sure after the nerfs, but I think it's still up there. It's one of the top damage outputs. It was the top. I'm not sure if it's still at the top, but it was definitely at one stage the top damage output against the Immortals on BOE. So that should give us pretty powerful impetus in the race. The enemy team, though, they do counter with the Arthas, and again, I've theorized that Arthas should be a very strong counter pick to Samuro. You know, the Frozen Tempest, slowing and damaging all the clones, even then later in the game reducing all their attack speed, rooting them in place, stuff like that. And then the sort of sustained healing that Arthas brings against the sustained damage of Samuro, he should be pretty good. And then, yeah, it's... We're talking about Abathur here in the chat as well. So Veliko was concerned that Abathur wouldn't be good here. He's actually very strong on this map, really strong. You know, the mines around the middle, it gives you good vision and control of the rotations around the Immortals. Then the split push and the split soak he brings during the Immortal phase, plus the clone for those Immortal team fights around him. But yeah, I think Abathur's actually really nice on this map. It's one of his best maps. Other good maps are like Towers of Doom, Sky Temple, Cursed Hollow, stuff like that. Yeah, but anyway, the enemy team bans out the Oriole, and then I am left with doing another ban. I don't quite remember what I banned here. I think I was looking at maybe Alarak as being a pretty powerful hero. Our teammate is saying that to ban the Brightwing, he doesn't have her. I think I do select Brightwing ban at the end. Obviously pretty useful. Brightwing can protect people with the block stacks. She can also reveal the clones if she gets that level 4 peekaboo talent. And she would be a top 3 healer alongside Oriole and Malfurion. So just remove all the top supports in this game. Plus Sylvanas, it's BOE. There you go. I want to see 2 picks the enemy team does pick up. But yeah, the reason that I'm bringing you this sort of out of order in terms of the order I played the games, you'll see that at the end of it, like, we dropped down a bunch. Basically, I played 2 play sessions, and one, I dropped down a bunch in Diamond 1. We didn't get to do a demotion game, but we got pretty close. And then yesterday I was playing again, and we played back up to the exact point where we were before. In fact, we got past that and then lost the promo game, and yeah, we're back to where we were before. I'm not going to bring you that particular promo game. It was not very good. It was just rather boring. Again, another one where someone has quote-unquote lag. They always have quote-unquote lag. It's very sad. But the enemy team follows up with a Rhaegar and Lunara. So Rhaegar, you know, basically we're going into the sort of the tier 2, tier 3 supports right here, with the top, with all the tier 1 supports gone, kind of dipping deeper into that support pool. So I was considering here saying Vala Uther would be really good. Vala Tyrande would also work pretty well too, giving us even more just race on the Immortal. But I really do like the Uther. Gonna be a little bit difficult for pretty much any of the remaining here. Maybe Karazim could do pretty well too, but it would be pretty vulnerable into an Arthas and a Jaina. But difficult to deal with the Lunara's sort of AoE damage. And then they followed up with a Sonya as well. So, yeah, they counterpick the Samuro pretty damn well. It's going to be a very interesting game. I mean, they've got the Arthas with the AoE slows and AoE damage. They've got Sonya, just can jump in, start whirlwinding. They got Lunara, who can obviously do all the poisons, AoE poisons, doing a lot of consistent damage. And pretty, you know, she can kind of hop away a little bit from what I'm doing with her slow and W as well. Then Jaina, of course, once again doing a ton of AoE damage and slows. Like they basically have as much AoE damage as it's basically possible to have against Samuro. I mean, I suppose Kelthus would have done pretty well too, but it's kind of scary. I mean, they've got Rhaegar with the slowing totems and with the lightning shield and the sustained healing, the burst healing. Yeah, I mean, they've counterpicked this pretty damn well. I was like, damn. I started off with the Samuro pick, and they really went all out in stopping it and have a good damage team as well for the Immortal. So yeah, it should be pretty interesting. You can see I'm saying, yeah, they drafted pretty damn well. I'm going to pick up Way of the Blade here as my talents at level 1. It's going to make my crits happen every 3rd strike instead of every 4th, and they do a little bit more damage. I think that's just going to give the best sustained damage output from the get-go against these Immortals. Should be pretty damn useful. Vala is wondering what sort of build to go for. I'd say on this map, again, I did a video on this recently. I think a Q build can be very strong on this. I personally like to grab the Q talent at level 1, Monster Hunter, and then just go for the standard W build. That's what I like to do. But, yeah, I mean, there's a few things you can go for. I saw Team Ballistics, who are the #1 team in the world right now. They went for a Q build on Vala on this map. So, there you go, at BlizzCon, 2 days ago, I guess. I'm confused as to when this video is coming out, when I recorded and all that stuff. Getting a bit of a flank on here, get some damage out, and then back away. Unfortunately, I do go a little bit too greedy and get punished very, very heavily, getting caught in a bunch of AoE. And then Lunara getting the flank on as well. I actually have to be saved by the Uther and then tap my well immediately. So although we got a pretty nice flank at the start, even just that one, I think, overstep, going a little bit too deep in the lane, and we paid a pretty hefty price for it, losing a lot of our life. And having life is very important on Samuro as well, because it also, as you see, determines the life of your mirror images that we spawn with our Q. Their life is dependent on how much I have, so we need to be very, very careful with that. You see, I'm looking for a potential flank here, being very cautious because a lot of the enemy team are missing. Okay, Arthas is actually roaming up towards top, as was Jaina. That might even be a dead Vala. Use our Q there to dodge the basic attack from Lunara. You can also dodge tower shots. You can dodge, I think you can dodge everything that's coming towards you with the well-timed Q. Obviously very difficult to do. And laying in in wait now for Jaina. It's like, yes, Jaina, come into, hello, Jaina. So spawn the mirror images, get her with a few hits. There you go. We actually get her down to half health. Q from Rhaegar does pretty much bring her back up, but still, you can see that, you know, we catch someone rotating a little bit out of position, and we're gonna get them pretty good. Positioning in the middle then to get onto this Immortal as quickly as possible. Nara is here as well. Throw down those mirror images, get them rocking. He's doing a little bit of damage to the Immortal. There you go, stealth back in. Hello, Jaina. How nice to see you. Gonna hit her with our W, get a few crits off on her, and there you go. Jaina explodes as she overextends into our team. Pretty nice. Looking for the Lunara now as well. Should have used the Q to dodge that one. A little bit late on that. Get some nice damage down to the Lunara. I'm turning around to start beating on this Immortal. Step out of the melee hit and then go back in. Unfortunately, we are quite substantially behind as my mirror image is suicide into that keep up top. We are quite substantially behind on this particular phase. But here we go. We're just going to try burn this one down. We could potentially get in there and try to destroy it. I just want to do as much damage as possible. And watch this. This is pretty crazy, right? This is pretty crazy. The race, we're catching up. We're catching up quite substantially. Obviously, Lunara is not there. Arthas wasn't there either. He actually left. Yeah, we had a level advantage. So a bit of XP scaling. And we almost win the race. The enemy team does grab it at the end. Like 700 shields on this Immortal. That went pretty well for us. Looking for the gank on Lunara. A good route from Arthas. We do cleanse ourselves out of it with that. Fortunately, Sonya is rotating around as well, trying to juke around to just try to dodge her Q. Fortunately, she does land the Q, holds it well until I don't have any room to juke anymore. Arthas follows up with the W and we go down. So, overextension from me, not expecting Sonya to be there and getting heavily punished for it. And this means that obviously the Immortal push is going to get basically nothing done. It got one tower. However, the split push the enemy team has set up is going to get equal value. Luckily, well played team. They grab a kill in return. So I'm saying we could potentially just push hard right here. And just try to defend with Abathur while they push in. We're actually going for a Merc camp instead, and that's perfectly fine actually. Vala continues to push while our teammates grab a Merc camp, and then that Merc camp will be there and pushing in. Abathur defends the lane, and I'm there to help out as well. Arthur's rotating down to the bottom, trying to stop the Vala. Shouldn't be too much of a threat. Yeah, Vala's kicking his ass. Good stuff. And yeah, here we go. Bit of a stalemate here. I'm definitely a little bit concerned about being able to defend this top lane and what the enemy team could do if they pushed in. Arth is actually going down in the bottom lane, so nice gank by our teammates. And yeah, there you go. One thing that came up in the last video, the Chen video, is a pretty controversial one. But there's the idea that I'm always blaming my teammates, which is something I try not to do. But you know, yeah, I suppose it raises the question of how often ought you be expecting to blame your teammates, or how often will your teammates be making mistakes as opposed to you making mistakes? Certainly if I never criticize myself, that's a bad sign, but what is the ideal, right? What is the ideal? Oh, before I talk about that, I should say Samuro is like one of the, I think he actually is the best Merc camp clearer in the game. You can let the mirror images tank it. He doesn't take any damage. He does crazy DPS, and he just burns through those. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We want to get clear this out and then get to the Immortal pretty quick. Getting some damage down on the Sonya. Just going to clear out the Merc camps. Not a huge deal. Not really looking to pick up any kills here on them. We didn't really have the position to kill them, but good to get those Mercs out of the way and get back onto this. So straight down onto the Immortal now. Our mirror images help to clear out that up top a little bit. The second Merc camp coming in, and now we're good. But yeah, how often should you expect? I mean, that's a curious thing. I wonder, like, how often do you expect that I would point out my own mistakes as opposed to pointing out teammate mistakes? Like, is it 50-50? That for every time I criticize my teammates for doing something wrong, I also criticize myself? I don't know. I feel like that's perhaps what people expect, and I feel like that would be incorrect because you're playing a 5-man game. There are 5 people on the team. I would expect, sort of like as a rough rule of thumb, that the mistakes should be, roughly speaking, evenly distributed. Nice clans. Mistakes should be evenly distributed. And good plays should also be, roughly speaking, evenly distributed. So in other words, that in 20% of the time, the mistakes would be mine, and 20% of the good plays would be mine, and then that 80% would be of the mistakes and good plays would be my teammates, because, well, there's 5 teammates, I'm 1, so I'm 20% of it. So yeah, I mean, that's also very important. We actually just about win that Immortal race. Lunara deep in our territory. I'm going to try hunt her down a little bit. It's one of the big psychological things to understanding why solo league, hero league, solo queue can be so salty and so tilting, is that, well, yeah, generally speaking, roughly speaking, only 20% of the mistakes are yours and 80% are your teammates, which leads to a lot of, it basically is the sort of substantial reason behind why there's so much salt at teammates and why people always blame their team. Now, of course, it goes too far, and if people think I go too far, that's definitely an issue where you're only blaming your teammates and you never accept that 20% responsibility for yourself. That's also possible. Also kind of interesting, I would say that at the moment, seeing as we're still in Diamond, but we know that we're beyond Diamond. I love how there's that little bit of lag every time Abathur does a clone. Seeing as we are, you know, in Diamond right now, and we know that obviously we're going to be beyond Diamond, you know, judging from how we did last season, judging from the personal adjustment we have at the moment, I would say the playstyle shows it a bit as well, and yeah, also the fact that, you know, we are team captain over master players in like every game. It's definitely, we are ranked below where we ought to be, so I think that probably would swing things as well to probably being maybe 15% of the mistakes being me, except apart from 20%, maybe 25% of good plays apart from 20%. I don't know exactly how much. I mean, just that's just a rough idea, but you get the gist, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope I do a good job of doing that. If I don't, I'm apologize. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I get mixed feedback. Some people saying you're great at knowing your mistakes, and some people saying you never say your mistakes. I don't know how you can have both things, but oh well. Anyway, decent fight right here. catching the Sonya out of position, and now we're going in on the Arthas. The Arthas kind of stuck out. Sonya coming back in. We're able to pick her off. My clones have been picked off by just the AoE damage of Arthas and the Sonya, but we do just melt the two of them. Abathur actually went down, I think, somewhere else on the map, but still, that was a pretty nice fight. You'll notice that one of the things I'm doing with Samuro, I actually found that Samuro is quite challenging to play. It's very fast-paced, very high pressure. This game, very high pressure game. Given that I thought both teams had very good compositions, I felt that our composition in particular was very hard to play, and I'm actually going to be talking about that moving into the latter half of this game. Excuse me, but yeah, it was definitely it's pretty difficult for us to do. But I'll be sort of not always fully committing as Samuro. Sometimes you have to choose your fights wisely, choose your angle of attack wisely. So it seems to me. And choose like your targets pretty wisely as well. I've got Shikuchi, I think it's called now, at level 13, which is going to give me a teleport on my Windwalk, which is going to be huge. That's really going to help in terms of the team fights and my positioning and stuff like that. You can see your Shikuchi in the back. Hello, Jaina. We go in and Jaina just starts exploding. We go in. Then with the Blade Storm, we actually get Divine Shield on top of us. We're on top of Rhaegar as well. We pick off the Rhaegar. There you go. Now we're in on top of Sonya. We actually Shikuchi away, but she follows us with the hook. We pick her off. Now we're going down. We got the Poison on us from Lunara, but a Shrink Ray from Uther actually reduces her damage. There we go. Vala strafing in. And we get a mega kill. Well played, everyone. Well played, team. That was epic. Level 14 now to level 11. GG, says Uther, pretty much calling it from this point. We absolutely annihilated them in that team fight. They got destroyed. So what I want to talk about, I think that highlights such an important thing, which is when everyone on your team, when everyone plays their role well, and we've got such a difficult team comp to execute, but when everyone plays it well, suddenly it becomes such a powerful thing. This is really, it's very much something I've noticed exceptionally in Hero League, is that you get such a wide variety, at least the games I've been playing recently, you get such a wide variety, and you'll see me talking about it all the time, of play styles and of skill levels, and basically how your team functions can really depend on how your teammates function. Now this game, and that last fight in particular, was an amazing example of literally everyone doing their job perfectly. Everything went just right. And I'm going to talk about that more after this team fight. This is pretty gnarly, actually. I chose a bad opportunity to go in. We actually run into all the Jaina stuff. We get cleansed out, but at that point it's pretty much about to die. Go in for one more hit on the Sonya, but I do fall down. This is kind of nuts. Vala picking off one kill. Vala still has a lot of life with the other two teammates. Everyone's out of mana. And Uther and Myrden are completely out of life. Myrden actually baiting in the Jaina with a very, very nice avatar there, pretty much on the end of his mana. I'm not sure what picked off the Jaina right there. I didn't quite see. Might have been an Abathur hat, might have been a Vala bullet, might have been Uther W, I'm not sure. Now Vala is on the hunt. You got the Abathur hat on her as well. They're going for the Lunara. Catch Lunara, and there we go. Final bullet plus the Abathur spike coming out too. Uther there healing up the Vala, making sure she's in no danger, and Vala picks up another kill. Myrden was not. Myrden went gate mad for a while there. He was just thumping on that gate. He did not care. It's kind of funny. And here we go. This is actually kind of see the sort of solo camp taking prowess of Samuro right here. But Uther's saying he would have saved us. It wasn't really a big deal. Honestly, I just chose a bad time to go in. Was very close to having my Q ready again. Yeah, we got caught. It was one of those. It was actually, I think I mentioned this in the last video. I was like, you never want to walk into Ring of Frost. That was, I think, one of the rare circumstances where you do. Where if I hadn't walked into the Ring of Frost, take the blizzard damage, which is obviously less, but would have been in the middle of the enemy team. So I kind of just had to hope against hope that I would have survived. Kind of messed it up. Using the Sakuchi there just to dodge away from the Lunara. And I thought this was kind of funny. the image is just running wild in the middle of the enemy team as they all like doing circles trying to chase him down. It's kind of funny. But yeah, in that last team fight, that was just perfect. But what happened was, we can even sort of set Abathur to the side and just say, okay, he's going to hat on someone and just be doing sort of this sort of passive damage across the team fight. We're looking for an in right here. We go, Abathur's come in on me. We blow up Jane and we pop the Blade Storm once again. The Divine Shield comes down. We're doing a ton of damage down at the back line. Jane is down to half health. We're getting the the Rhaegar down as well, and jumping in, we have a clone of Samuro coming out in the middle of the enemy team. I'm being chased down by the Lunara. Lunara hits me with her Q as well. The Brush providing no protection whatsoever. We use our Q actually, which cleanses off her poison, which is huge, and then we Sakuchi away from her leaping strike. Mount up now, looking to run, but Lunara is coming in around to the side. I was thinking, oh, I can use my Windwalk with Sakuchi to jump over the wall and we're going to escape, but very awkward position right now, but we use our jukes. Finally, use our juke skills, and Lunara is potentially off our trail. Very scared right now. Q might pop over that wall. Anything could happen. No, Lunara reappears down the middle. That's fine. We're actually going to Hearthstone back and come back in, but our teammates, meanwhile, off to the back, have picked off a number of kills. So well played, team. Awesomely done. The way this is working, the reason this is working so well is because literally everyone, again, let's set Abathur to the side for the moment. We can talk about him afterwards. We can add him into this. But everyone is playing their role so well that it's enhancing what everyone else does. For example, imagine our Uther wasn't like this unbelievably good. You know, Uther played it so well, saying, dude, when you Whirlwind, I'm going to Divine Shield you. Just go ham. Do tons of damage. And that is letting me just go crazy on Samuro. I'm just able to dive in on their team and do tons of damage, just like Sakuchi in, and get hit by the stun. That's like, I'm being totally enabled by Uther because Uther's playing so well. Well, on top of that, it's not just that. That's a very visible thing, and he's doing that brilliantly. But Vala, we haven't really seen Vala do much because she's obviously at the opposite end of the team fight. But Vala must also be playing her role incredibly well. Because I'm going in, I'm doing a ton of damage, get the Divine Shield on me, applying an absolute fuck ton of disruption to the enemy team, but then Vala is able to come in and just do a ton of damage on top of that. You can see we absolutely explode the Jaina once again. She's having a horrible time. Now we're beating on the Arthas, gonna back it off just a little bit, get ready for a heal. We got the Immortal coming in, so we don't need to commit too much. Going back in for a bit of damage. Sonya goes way too deep and she just gets exploded as her illusions come off cooldown. But Vala, right, she's at the back, and as we're going in and disrupting the enemy team, she's just doing tons of damage, pushing forwards and just outputting massive damage. We're actually picking off kills off the back. The only other damage dealers really are Vala and Abathur. The fact that we're winning these team fights dramatically after I do all that initial burst damage and then run away and or die shows you that Vala is doing an exceptional job of capitalizing on that. She's also being able to do this because I'm playing Samuro really well, getting off some wicked flanks. And because Uther is playing really well, he's enabling me with Divine Shield, probably enabling the dive as well with his heals onto the Vala and onto me and so on, and Muradin. Then Muradin must also be playing really well, you know, disrupting the enemy team, diving in and capitalizing on the disruption that I initially caused, enabling Vala even more. And then you can imagine Abathur on top of that doing more. But I think this is a really cool insight into that. Unfortunately, Uther didn't actually make the MVP screen, and he 100% deserved it. In fact, like, you could give anyone on this team MVP. I think anyone really deserved it. I would have personally given it to Uther, who's the most, you know, just those Divine Shields on Whirlwind was beautiful. And the fact that he went into chat and was like, yo, when you Whirlwind, Divine Shield, I got your back, just go for it. Pretty damn cool. And there you go. You can see the stats right there. If you look at that, Vala, 81,000 hero damage. I'm the next at 48,000. He has like pretty much twice the hero damage of everyone else. 0 deaths. Like, and that's the thing, right? You might look at that and say, is this guy like the best Vala player on EU? That's incredible. He absolutely destroyed everyone. It's like, well, yeah, he's probably very good. But the reason that he looked so unbelievably good in that game was not just because he played well, but more importantly, because every single person on our team was playing out of their minds. Everyone was playing great. And then you put all those pieces together and you get this incredible just team synergy, this team composition, where Samuro gets the flank off, goes in deep, suddenly a ton of burst damage on the back of the enemy team, completely disrupts their backline. As the backline tries to turn around Samuro, Uther gets him with the Divine Shield, protecting him and just sustaining that disruptive, bursty dive into their backline. At the same time, Muradin is going forwards, making that even more chaotic, disrupting them even more. Vala, and the meanwhile, capitalizing on that disruption, just going absolutely nuts with the damage, just churning it out, and then Uther keeping everyone alive and pushing in as well. I think that you can see the 4-man team. You've got the melee damage dealer, you've got a warrior, you've got the range damage dealer and support. It's a really good 4-man to really see that in action, everyone doing well, and then how all of that enhances everyone. If you take one of those bits away, it falls apart. Like if Vala sucks, suddenly the whole thing falls apart. Because yeah, I go in and do a bunch of burst damage, but if Vala's not good enough to capitalize on that, then suddenly we lose the team fight, because there's no follow-up damage, there's no sustained damage. The 80k hero damage isn't there. Suddenly the team composition falls apart. If Uther isn't good, then I dive in, and then like there's no divine shield, and suddenly I die and the team falls apart very much more. If I suck, then I'm not actually able to do the flanks. I might like walk into the front and do some damage, kind of running away. I'm not actually doing the damage, getting off these flanks and capitalizing on the fact that I know Uther's got my back. Then the team composition really suffers. You know, if Muradin isn't that good, and you know, he just kind of jumps in and leaves Vala to just be soloed by their damage dealers, and Muradin doesn't actually do anything, misses his skill shots, then the team sort of falls apart. You can see it really, really easily, yeah. Then on top of that, you know, I gave Abathur the MVP vote, I think, but yeah, poor Abathur being left out of that sort of analogy a little bit, that analysis, but I think he also played very well. We didn't see too much of him, but he kind of had the clone coming in off the back of our engagement, which also obviously helped the whole Vala thing, and sort of just the team fight happening after us, and then getting in good symbiotes as well to just do extra damage, extra burst. And yeah, as you saw, it worked incredibly well. We absolutely destroyed them. We rolled over them, and it was a very scary draft going into it. You can see like everything could fall apart so much, but I thought that was a really good insight into just how when everyone plays well, it lets everyone play better, and then when everyone plays better, it lets everyone play better, and it's like all of this just builds on top of each other, and you just end up steamrolling an enemy team that like isn't playing that badly really, and has a pretty good team composition to go up against what you've put together. You know, this could have gone either way, but just everyone on our team played their role so well that it just all enhanced, and we steamrolled them at the end. I thought that was really cool. And again, this is something I talk about and get a bit salty over, to be fair, in some of my other videos, is when just because like in Hero League you can have these big gaps. For example, one of the games that will be coming up, I'm not sure if I'll put it on the channel, I probably will, but it's on Blackheart's Bay, but there was a 1,000 MMR difference between, there were two of us at like 3,500 MMR. There were two people then at 3,000, and then one dude at 2,500. And it was just like one of the 2,500 guys and one of the 3,000 dudes were playing the team fights so bad that like we got just destroyed in a couple of team fights. We got destroyed, and after the team fights I was just like, I don't understand how we're losing these fights so badly, but it's because they misplayed it so much that we just fell apart. But it's definitely something that happens, and that's what you hear me giving out about in some of these videos, is like, like our Vala sucks, and it's just not helping us play well. Yeah, I know it's kind of hard to explain, but hopefully you get the drift, right? Is that you can imagine, you see there what happens when everyone plays well, how all the parts fit together. Once you take one of those parts away, or you make it 70% as effective or something like that, suddenly everything starts falling apart, and all the things you're trying to do start not working as well. And then suddenly, if the Uther isn't playing as well, if the other teammates aren't playing as well, I have to play a different kind of Samuro. I can only play that Samuro and just do tons of damage. If the allies are playing as well, they can only play as well if I'm playing as well. All that sort of stuff. You take even one piece away and everything falls apart. Anyway, there you go. Kind of just a little bit rambly at the end, but hopefully you get the gist of that. I thought it was a really cool game. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Give it a like if you liked that one, if you learned something. I think Samuro will be nerfed in the patch, so you got like a day or two to play him. Sorry. But hopefully you get a bit of fun out of him until then. And he'd be kind of tuned down a little bit in the next patch. It's what I heard. I think they mentioned that at BlizzCon. So yeah, I kind of expect that. And I will see you all next time for some more Heroes of the Storm. Bye-bye.